Okay, everyone, I would like to call to order public hearing April 5, 2023, and this is to consider proposed bylaws, City of Quesnel Official Community Plan, Amendment Bylaw number 1942, and City of Quesnel Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1943 of 2023. I will now read some opening remarks. This public hearing is being convened so that City Council can hear the views of the public with respect to the subject bylaws. Council members may ask questions of the proponent or of City staff. Council may not debate the merits of the proposed bylaws with individual citizens. At this public hearing, any person present who believes that his or her interests are affected by the proposal shall be given an opportunity to be heard. However, it is important that all who speak at this meeting restrict their remarks to matters contained within the bylaws. No one will be or should feel discouraged or prevented from making his or her views known. Those of you who wish to speak concerning the proposed bylaws will be given the opportunity. I will ask for gallery submissions. I will ask for gallery submissions 3 times going, and then after the public hearing is concluded, Council intends to review the Development Services Manager's recommendations publicly at a future meeting. During the course of a public hearing, please remain quiet regardless of whether you are in favor or opposed to any particular application or argument. This allows others whose views may differ from yours to feel free to express themselves in as impartial a forum as possible. So now I will turn it over to the Director of Development Services. No, I'm going to go to the City Deputy Clerk to bring us up to speed.
The City of Quesnel OCP Amendment Bylaw 1942 of 2023 is a bylaw to amend the City of Quesnel Official Community Plan 1879 of 2019 to amend the Official Community Plan to include updated hillside hazard and floodplain development permit areas, as well as correct any references to the previous floodplain management bylaw. City of Quesnel Zoning Amendment Bylaw 1943, a bylaw to amend the City of Quesnel Bylaw 1880 of 2019. Schedule A to amend the accessory dwelling unit regulations, and Schedule B to amend mapping error on Hoy Street. Notice of public hearing was published in the Quesnel Cariboo Observer on April 12th, 2023 and April 19th, 2023. The notice of public hearing was posted in the City Hall's public posting areas as per Section 466 of the Local Government Act. Mail-out notice and development notice signs were not required as per Section 466(7) of the Local Government Act, as the bylaw amendments affect more than 10 or more parcels owned by 10 or more persons. Proposed bylaws were published in this agenda, and the following staff reports were prepared by Director Turner. Administration Report 52, 2023, delivered March 28th, 2023, and Report 53, 2023, delivered same date. At the time of publishing the agenda, no submissions have been received.
Okay, thank you. So now we're aware of the proposed bylaws, City of Quesnel Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw number 1942 of 2023 and City of Quesnel Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1943 of 2023. So now I have 2 city staff reports, Staff Report 52, 2023 and 53, 2023. So I'll go to Director Turner to comment on those staff reports.
Thank you, Mayor. These reports were provided and presented to Council on March 28th. How much would you like me to go into detail into what they're requiring or what they're stating now, as we do have people in the gallery for the public hearing?
Okay, thank you. One moment, please. I just got to go back to my...
Would you like me to give just a brief outline of the reports for the purposes of the gallery?
Sorry?
I'm just going to give a brief outline of the reports for the purposes of the gallery.
Yes, please.
So the official community plan amendments are really with respect to hillside hazard and the floodplain bylaws. As you know, the floodplain bylaw was updated, and the OCP amendments that are included here are really updates that are required to those, just to make the OCP consistent with the new floodplain bylaw. Additionally, there was some hillside hazard areas that have been identified through mapping, and they have been added to the hillside hazard area DP, and that's the majority of what's happening here in the official community plan amendments as an overview. With respect to the zoning bylaw, the majority of the zoning bylaw amendments were with respect to the accessory dwelling units and the plans that we have developed there. As you recall, we talked about there's just a number of little amendments in terms of setbacks, et cetera, that are detailed in the report. Just a number of various little things that were recommended by the consultant that did our accessory dwelling units to make them more consistent with the plans that we've developed and make them a little bit easier to administer once we start hopefully getting a bunch of accessory dwelling units occurring in our city. That's the majority of that there. So with respect, there's also a floodplain restriction setback table that was added, just some minor little things, mostly considered housekeeping amendments.
Thank you. And for the benefit of those in the gallery, I know that there was some confusion out there about the possibility that tonight's public hearing may be with regard to zoning a certain piece of property. That is not on. These are just simply housekeeping amendments, and I've already explained that situation to one of the people that were concerned, and I don't know if that's why you're here. Certainly, if you have any comment with respect to this particular bylaw and bylaws and the contents therein, you will be given an opportunity in a moment. I'm looking at item number 6 on my agenda, and that is public written submissions received prior to publishing the agenda. No written submissions were received at the time of publishing the agenda. I will now call to see if there are any late written submissions, and I don't think there are. So now I will ask for verbal gallery submissions for a first time. Are there any verbal gallery submissions for a first call? Hearing none, are there any verbal gallery submissions for a second time? Hearing none, the third and final call for verbal gallery submissions. Seeing none. Oh, I've got a person coming up. When you come up, please give us your name and your residential address, and make sure that you push the little button there to activate the microphone.
Trevor Gilbranson. I live at 129 Low Street. So with this change in the bylaws and whatever, what will that do to that parcel of land on Johnson Avenue?
I don't think it'll do anything. They're talking about the 7-acre parcel of land that was recently zoned for multi-family.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not. There's nothing in these bylaws that are respect to that. As we discussed outside, but I can meet with you following this meeting to find out where the confusion. I have no idea what's being discussed here.
Yeah.
With respect to that property.
Is that going to change the what do you call it?
The density?
Sorry?
Are you asking if it will change the density?
No, not necessarily the density, but allowing buildings in that floodplain. Is that what this bylaw is going to do, or what?
I'll go to the Director of Development Services for the answer.
Thank you. There will be no specific changes with respect to the floodplain requirements on that piece of property. I'm not sure what's being confused here on that, other than maybe just that thinking it's a floodplain, and so it might have something to do with this, but that there's nothing specific to that parcel in these bylaws.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. You bet. And I'll just explain that what perpetrated this inquiry was that in the base zoning bylaw, those properties that were recently zoned for multi-family development were a color, I think brown. But in our advertising for this public hearing, those properties were colored green, and that created some problems. So that's how that whole thing started. So seeing that there are no further verbal submissions from the gallery, I will now call for a motion. Do we need a motion, clerk, to move? You're moving. Seconded, Councillor Elliott. I saw that. Thank you very much. Any discussion on adjournment? Okay, so we are hereby adjourned, and we'll take about a 5-minute break in order to get ready for the open council meeting.